Yeah, hi, my name is Mike Overzat, and I'm here with Zach Jones, and we're making this video for homeowners. Perhaps you are talking to one of our project managers or sales associates. Perhaps they knocked on their door, or you called us out to come to your property and inspect the roof after a hailstorm. And the benefit of watching this video is we're going to condense this entire video into 6 steps so that you know exactly what to expect throughout this claim process. There's a lot of unknowns that come to insurance and your roof, and so we try to explain everything in such great detail so that you understand it. So I thank you for being in contact with us and giving us the opportunity to earn your business, and number 2, just please watch it till the end so you can retain all the information, and then if there's any specific parts that you need help with, you can ask your sales associate and or request a video from us, and we'll send you another video for that specific piece of the entire 6 steps. So enjoy the video.
Step 1, we learn the roof's history. How old is your roof? Is it a 3-tab, architectural, or specialty shingle? Each have different damage thresholds. What kind of storm damage occurred, whether it be tornado, hail, or hurricane? Were there any prior claims? The reason we need to know all this information is it gives us the best insight on how to go about getting your roof claim approved. Obviously, we want to earn your business, but this is about you, your roof, and your family's needs. Most importantly, we want you to be confident and comfortable in the decision you're making, whether it be us or another contractor you choose to use.
Step 2 is actually inspecting the roof. What we're looking for is a 10-foot by 10-foot square to see how many hail hits or missing shingle or creased shingles, depending on the type of claim that you have. We have a couple basic things that we go through. Are there exposed nails? How is the actual field shingle holding up? But going back to, do I have 3-tab or architectural, because that determines the damage thresholds of Hague standards. That's an engineering standards that a lot of insurance companies uphold to see whether or not it's damaged. And we actually have a field book on hand to be able to review the Hague standards while we're out on the roof, because hail can get pretty subjective. So having a Hague certified inspector, 99% of roofing contractors aren't Hague certified, so that sets us apart immediately to be able to give you a valid assessment on whether it's not damaged or whether it is damaged. And if it isn't, we'll still send you those photos so that you have time-stamped documentation as a peace of mind. In case you have a future storm, you can prove to the insurance company that it's not damaged. And we'll go back to this Hague later when we get to the adjuster section. How's the wood decking? Can you walk on it? Is it walkable? Is it out of code? Right? Are there places where there's potential leaks like flashings? This will actually go down to, are there anomalies? Are there potential supplementals? We'll come back later to this when we go into the building estimate section, because we need to look for things that your insurance company might potentially miss and then give you the best chance of getting the roof approved. That's the most important part of this all, is giving you the best chance of representing or being an advocate to the insurance company for the scope of damages. We also look for things like collateral damage, which is your gutters. There will be little dents and dings, and then just a whole plethora of other things that are covered in this Hague certification course and Hague manual to be able to tell whether or not it's damaged and paint that picture for the insurance adjuster when they come out, and so that you don't walk in empty-handed and your adjuster comes out and denies the roof if it is a legitimate claim. That happens all the time, and we see it all the time because the homeowner calls the insurance company directly because they put a little bit too much trust in the adjusters, and it could be something as simple as the way that they're feeling that day, or the fact that there's a bunch of other pipe claims going on at the same time, that the insurance company comes out and they say, hey, we don't want to pay for this roof, even though it is legitimately damaged. So that segues directly into step 3.
So step 3, we move into the 3 steps of the insurance claim process. Step 1, of course, is filing the claim, assessing when the storm damage occurred, Moving into filling out our service form. Basically, the contingency agreement goes over three things. It allows me to go to bat for you when it comes to your insurance company. It locks the price at the amount the insurance covers, so I can't come back to you and charge you more. I call it a price lock guarantee. It states that after we help you get your roof covered, we become the contractors of choice to do the work. Lastly, we move into the adjuster meeting. Just make sure that we're there so we can make sure they're seeing the same damages that we've seen and you're getting the most out of the insurance claim process. Remember, we're stronger together.
Cool, so we're getting into the meat of things. Step 4. This is when we actually go to the property and meet with the adjuster. It can get tricky sometimes because the adjusters, they could be out of state, they could be part of a catastrophe team, they could be a desk adjuster acting as an inspector. There's all different variations of it, but the most important part of this is just making sure we're there when that adjuster comes to the property and letting us handle the business and work alongside the adjuster to get your roof approved. Sometimes adjusters, they're very busy. Sometimes they do it on purpose. Sometimes it's just out of having a hectic schedule that they'll show up to the property randomly, or they'll even show up saying they'll be there in 3 hours and they show up 15 minutes at the beginning of that process. So main thing is just make sure we know and be in communication with our sales associate or project manager, because it's going to make sure that we're there and then we can show them what we're seeing and be your advocate. We can go around looking at the gutters, the downspouts, depending on the type of claim, to be able to paint the picture for them. And what we do is we de-risk the process for you. So we're an advocate to show scope of damages, and we also advise and consult you throughout the damage process to where we're going to go to the insurance company and we're going to make sure they don't miss a bunch of line items like a chimney reflashing or a second layer of felt, right? Because we want to be able to give you way more than you expect and install the best shingle possible, one that's potentially could give you insurance discounts when we're done. And all of that is contingent upon us being there and us being your advocate and being able to fight on those code-related items. Most insurance companies underpay 20 to 30%. And so when we go to the next step, you'll see that more of the nuances of how us not being there or us not being your advocate or you going about this yourself, not being prepared, can really cost you in the long run and cost your family and cost your roof. And again, this is all about you. We want to earn your business, but we want to make sure you get the best roof possible that's going to last for 30, 40 years plus. Step 5. So looks like your roof got approved. Congratulations. And in this step, what happens is the insurance company is going to build you an estimate. 22 of 25 insurance companies use a software, which I'm about to show you, called Xactimate. There's a couple other insurance companies like Shelter Insurance that use Symbility. But the main thing is this confuses homeowners a lot of why do we build the estimate after the fact, after the adjuster coming out. And it's because of the way that they structure a claims process, which I'll go into, but it also goes back to the software and the supplements, and so I'll jump right into it. So this is an example of a homeowner. I'm going to show you the before and I'm going to show you the after. So in this case, this is State Farm. They have a claim summary page. We'll pop this up on the screen, but obviously we're going to be careful about the privacy issue of having this information up there. And they have the claim information. I'm not going to stay on it too long, with the price list and the dates and the date of loss and the insured's information. That would be your information in this case. The claim number, etc. A summary page with the replacement cost value, the depreciation, the actual cash value. This is something that your sales associate or your project manager will have to go into a little bit more depth with you. This is always a big hang up for homeowners, and it's because of the way that it's structured. It's very nuanced. So when we get down to here, this is where we actually get into a Xactimate. And so in this case, this is the main dwelling. It has the surface area, the size of the roof, the perimeter, the amount of hip and ridge, all those little items. As much as it might shock you, we're not out to really be worried or concerned with the price of your roof as much as just getting all these code or line items correct so that you can get the best roof system possible and not have corners cut throughout the job. So then what happens is you have a removal, you have a replacement, you have all these different line items, and then you have different columns for RCV, ACV, and depreciation. To make it really simple for you and break it down easily, your insurance company is going to break everything into 2 checks. In the first check, they're going to take out the deductible. And then on the second check, when the contractor's done, they file for that. That's called depreciation to be released, and then that pays off the balance of the roof. The RCV is sticker price. That's the amount that it would be worth today, brand new. Actual cash value, that's what it's worth after wear and tear and depreciation. So RCV equals ACV plus depreciation. So that's why you have columns for all these things. In this case, when you take the subtotals, the RCV is $25,914, the ACV is $16,528, and the depreciation is $9,385. And then you might have other gutters and other line items that are on here that are separated out. Sometimes they're put together. You might have a dump fee. But the main thing is going back to that service agreement, we're going to do your roof for the replacement cost value, and your only investment is your deductible. And what they do is they take that deductible out of the first check. And no, hey, the deductible's taken out, I've already paid, it's already been paid. No, they're taking it out because they expect you to pay it. That's your financial obligation to your insurance company, and they take it out of that $16,000. So in this case, they'd give him $15,528, and then the homeowner would pay that when we build the roof and drop the materials at the property, and then we'd finish the roof, file for any potential supplements throughout the job. Hopefully we do that beforehand so we don't have to do it during the job. And then they release the rest of that depreciation, the $9,000, which would pay off the balance. Now I'm going to show you the second scope and show you that this $25,000 increased significantly. And I'm going to show you how and why it's important to do it this way, because it's going to get you the best roof system, which Zach will go into next on the next step, right? Now, as far as deductible waiving and deductible, this is a huge thing. This is kind of a pet peeve of ours. It gets under our skin. There are contractors out there, just to warn you, that will waive your deductible. We are not one of them. If you're in a financial situation where you can't afford your deductible now, that's fine. Wait until you have up to a year after the claim is approved to get that money to get together. In Arkansas, deductibles are usually $500 to $1,000. They're now, a lot of insurance companies are switching that to a percentage of the value of the home. You got to watch for that when you renew your insurance. Oklahoma, more frequent that they have it a percentage of the value of the home. Texas, very common that it's 1% the value of the home. So if it's $300,000, it's $3,000. So that's the money that they'll take out. And they expect you to pay that as your financial obligation to get the roof done. A lot of states like Texas, Oklahoma, and just federal law are making laws to make it a felony. Granted, there are still contractors out there that'll do that and that will try to snag you in it to try to save $1,000. It's not saving you money. You're going to go through 3 roof systems in that amount of time because they're going to cut corners and put on a low quality shingle, or they're not going to have quality control. It's just a recipe for disaster. If the insurance company's already underpaying 20 or 30%, what do you think happens when that money's taken out? They're cutting corners on your roof. So now the next scope that I'm going to show you is the updated after we were finished, and we have it right here, same thing, but now we have an updated price list for the month when we actually built it. So the RCV went from, what was that, $25,000 to now $32,370. So you want to get the insurance company to get you the best roof system possible. And when you're cutting corners or you're doing it differently and you're asking the contractor for multiple estimates, you don't get to keep that money. The insurance company will just take that out of the final check that they send you. So if you submit for 31, they're going to take that $1,000 out the final check and they're going to pocket it. Unless, of course, the contractor is committing insurance fraud and submitting a false invoice to the insurance company and then saying through the back door, oh, hey, we'll give you that money back. And like I said, a lot of states are making it felonies and actually having criminal punishments for it. And it's just not, it's a recipe for disaster, okay? So in this case, that simple price list update and then adding in insurance, permits, fees, and different line items that they missed on here changed that estimate for $6,000. Do you think you're going to be able to get the same roof system for $25,000 as you would for $32,000, right? So there's a correct way to do this. And it's giving the contractor the ability to communicate directly with your insurance company so that he can be an advocate for those line items and figure out all those little line items that are missing. Now, if you go up here, State Farm is actually one of the few insurance companies that say, which is beautiful about State Farm, they print it right on their summary page where they say, we will provide you with the second one, with a detailed estimate of the scope of damages and cost of repairs. Should the contractor you select have questions concerning our estimate, they should contact your claim representative directly. Okay, directly, right? So That's telling you right there to get the contractor in touch with them, because it makes it easier for them and it makes it easier for you, and the insurance companies knows what they're asking for before they begin repairs. And then as far as us, we can build an Xactimate using their same software, so you know it's fair market value of what we're trying to charge the roof. We're not going to ask for things that we're not doing, and these price lists are contingent upon your zip code in your area, so it's supposed to be representative of fair market, even though in a lot of cases, like Symbility, which Shelter uses, it's not fair, and then they leave a bunch of line items off. So they're getting you to race to the bottom. So when your insurance company tells you to go out and get 3 estimates, great, yes, get it in writing, get an estimate, of course. You want to do that, right? That's more to know what type of material you're installing in the roof. But if you're thinking of an insurance claim like a retail job where you're getting estimates, you don't understand how it works, because it's done with 2 different checks, and if you change or go for a lower estimate, you are just racing to the bottom, and they're just going to take that off the depreciation on the final check. And again, the sales associate can explain that more and how it's nuanced, but you don't get to keep that money. Insurance is not a lottery ticket. It's not something where you make money off of it or that. That is totally illegal. It's totally unethical, and we don't partake in it. And you got to seriously ask yourself, there's tons of contractors out here. We can name them all. We know them all by name. We have videos of jobs they've done. You know, we're not the kind of contractor that's going to go out and badmouth, but it's in certain states, these contractors would be in jail for the things that they're doing here because they're violating code and they're breaking laws. Would you trust that sort of contractor to do your roof? So this is the right way to do a claim. Your only investment is your deductible to get all the work done, built to code, built correctly, right? And beyond all of that, the only way you're going to pay more is if you want upgrades or additions on your roof, which he can go into more later. So this is the correct way to do it. And so once you get this estimate, get it into our hands as soon as possible. That's the key, right? Let us know when the adjuster's there, and then make sure you get that estimate in our hand as soon as possible. That service agreement, we're stronger together, gives us the ability to negotiate on behalf of the scope of damage and the repairs. We can't talk policy. We can't actually talk to your insurance company and say, oh, this about your policy or that. That's more of a job of an adjuster. And there's a lot of laws against blurring that line. But what we can talk is scope of damages and how much it would be to repair. And so that's our job as the experts, because we know all these codes. And I can guarantee, unless you've been a roofer for a significant amount of time, if I showed you another one of these estimates, or ask your sales associate to show you and ask you what all the line items that are missing on there, that's not your job to know it. That's a roofer's job, or a storm contractor or general contractor to know that, so that he can argue those codes. Now the other thing is most contractors around, especially around Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, they don't even follow basic code. We go to ABC Supply all the time, and we're carrying out ice and water shield, and they're asking, why are you doing that? You're the only one doing that. It's because we're putting ice and water around the perimeter. Even though that the insurance companies are fighting tooth and nail, we talk to adjusters and say, you're the only ones asking for that. Well, the IRC, the International Residential Code, got updated at the beginning of January, and we're already following it 6 months before time and doing it for the homeowner's behalf, right? So you really got to be nuanced with actually breaking it down here, and that's where you want to ask the questions of how our estimate is going to fit their estimate, instead of getting into this price thing, which, as I've explained, it's not to your benefit. It's for the insurance company to pocket money. If they can get you to go out and do the legwork to get a lower estimate over 10,000 or 1,000 claims and $1,000, we're talking millions and millions of dollars. So don't be gullible and don't fall for that trick, because it's a trap. And in most cases, it works for their benefit. And the only reason why a homeowner would do that is either they don't understand it, or they're trying to commit insurance fraud alongside the contractor, right? So when we provide your estimate, we're going to do it first by looking at theirs, making sure theirs is correct, and then we'll get into the material selection of what ours actually has on it, matching what's up here. And this is so important, because you might have skylights, you might have chimneys, you might have all these different little supplementals that they left off. And we need to be able to get into this and dig into the meat and bones of things so that we can get you the best roof system possible. So going to the next step. So to finish up the final step, this is the fun part. All of this hard work leads up to this. Congratulations, we're finally here. We're going to get your roof built. So just a quick recap. We're an NRCA member, National Roofing Association. Take that really seriously. licensed, bonded, insured, right? So you have all the protections. If we require a deposit before the job, or when we require a deposit before the job, you know you have a protection of a bond that is a performance bond, meaning we have to do the work. And us being a local company, it wouldn't make sense for us to take your money and run off with it. And then we're obviously Malarkey certified. If you go to the Malarkey website, you can actually go and hit find a contractor right here. You put in your zip code and you'll pull us up right there with our picture of our company. My beautiful wife, Zach's beautiful face, and we're there. So we take our Malarkey certification really seriously, and the way that you build that roof is different than other roof systems. So trying to have a contractor that does it that isn't Malarkey certified, they can really mess up your roof. Now, just to recap, we use an app called Company Cam, which will track your progress throughout the job. We'll actually share you a link at the top. In this case, we were doing a job for a specialty shingle, the highest rated shingle that they have, called a Legacy. And we're doing the job, and as you can see, we're putting that leak barrier around the perimeter. One of the few contractors here in Northwest Arkansas that actually does this, and it's code. A lot of contractors won't tell you that. They'll install it, or they won't install it, and your roof is basically out of code because the cities haven't updated the code. We don't do that. We fight the insurance companies for it. Even if it isn't approved, it doesn't change your deductible as your investment, and we still put it on. Last thing is we do a quality control checklist where we have you actually sign off on it, looking at the roof. Very few contractors actually do that. And so you know that the job is going to be done correctly. We also sometimes take drone footage so that if you're selling the house or something, or you just want it for yours, records, we could have some cool drone footage of your house and the area around your house. And one of the last things is the warranty information that we can provide you. That's something that you need to actually specifically ask your sales associate or project manager. The different levels of warranty, we can offer their extended transferable warranty, and your sales associate can kind of better equip you with the specifics of that and actually show you what the difference is between the different warranty levels. Every roof comes with a warranty, 5-year labor warranty, and then the manufacturer warranty. The Emerald Pro is just a little bit more designed for selling your house, transferring it on, and just a little bit more extra protection. Last thing to recap is we actually use a catch-all. We're one of the few contractors that use this with gutter guards, depending on if your house has gutters, so that when we do the tear off, we're not destroying your gutters and tossing debris down and hitting your gutters. And then we have a netting around your landscape to try to catch all that nails. So as you can see, we're just really thorough, down to even how we produce videos and content so that we can help you through this process. And congratulations, we're so happy that you got to this point, and we look forward to getting you a roof and having it done right. And the coolest part is this shingle, in a lot of states, especially Arkansas, Oklahoma, insurance rates are going through the roof. Arkansas is the #1 insurance increase, 18%. And so in a lot of cases, this shingle, when we install it, you can actually get a discount on your premiums. State Farm has a form, USAA has a form that we actually sign off on saying that we installed a hail impact shingle, so you can get those discount rates. And really, this is a lifetime roof system. Roofers shouldn't be installing anything in storm areas that isn't hail impact and high wind rated. And so we put on the very best product, but all of that is contingent upon all the other steps being done right, because you're not going to get this roof system, like in the case of that job that we showed you with those 2 estimates, with $25,000 for a $34,000 roof in the end. So it's very important that we get all those line items correct so that we can install this shingle, and all those little intricacies and nuances lead up to this point. And if you allow us to handle your claim, we're going to do our very best for you, because our company motto is to never put profits before people. We take that very seriously, and that started out of me working for a bunch of roofing companies, in some cases storm contractors, and dealing with them violating building code, them not taking care of their salespeople, them not taking care of the homeowner, and not really caring about the finished product and the nuances of this. And that's how Luck Roofing started. So we're very heart-centric, and at the end of the day, it's about you, it's about your family, it's about your roof, it's about your needs, and we want to be your contractor, but most importantly, we want to educate you so that you make the right decision. Thank you, and have a great day.